So hi, everybody. My name is Christy Zamani. I'm the executive director for Day One. It's my pleasure to help convene this gathering tonight. We're all invested in PUSD. That's the truth. That's why we're here. It's 4:30 and we're still here. I'm sure all of us started our days at 5 or 5:30. And we care. That's really it. You're either here as a parent, I can raise my hand, as a community member who's invested, I can raise my hand, someone who works here, someone who loves our students. So I think the idea behind tonight is to really learn from each other, create a really safe space where we could talk about what's working, what could be better, and what are some other opportunities. Dr. Blanco will speak to you in a bit, but I'll just say she's been doing a phenomenal job, I think, going around the city, which we know is tiring. Pasadena is hard. We want answers, we want meetings, we want to have convenings. To really understand like what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what our perspectives are. So we're gonna get into that in a little bit, and before I introduce her, you all have been mixing and mingling on your own perfectly, but if you could just take maybe the next 5 minutes to say hello to the people next to you. Since this is an unusual setting, so we're not at rounds, but just take a minute, say hello, shake a hand or an elbow, and just do that. Make noise. Yeah. Well done. A+ for all of you. A+. Okay. So I'm going to read a little bit about Dr. Blanco from her bio. So apologies for looking down, but it's just too good for me to mess up. So Dr. Blanco was appointed interim superintendent on July 1st of this year. She has served at PUSD for a total of 9 years. Most recently as deputy superintendent, an accomplished executive and servant leader with more than 30 years of experience in public education. Dr. Blanco is passionate about creating dynamic learning environments that are engaging and inclusive of all learners. She says, I am honored to serve as the interim superintendent, and I look forward to actualizing this district's visionary strategic plan, which many people in this room have contributed many hours working on. So there's a lot more here, but I will just say that, again, we are very lucky to have her. We know that sometimes in our city we have people that come and leave on a regular basis, but to have someone who's invested this much time in our district and our students is something very impressive. So with no longer ado, Dr. Blanco.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here, and really, it's an honor and privilege to serve in Pasadena. Pasadena had a very special place in my heart, and I left, for an opportunity up in the Bay Area to take some of the things we were doing here and really take them to scale, but I always felt like I didn't stay here long enough and wanted to come back. So was thrilled to be able to do that and be with you for this amount of time. And it's always great when you feel like you're coming home and you know the community. And I was gone, that was 5.5 years, and I came back and you were all still here, supporting the kids. And like I said, familiar faces, it was great to be there. I also want to recognize this evening we have Mrs. Bailey, Richardson Bailey, here with us. Wave, Mrs. Bailey. And board member Jennifer Hawley. And a lot of our staff members that could answer your questions and be part of the conversations this evening. Wave if you're a staff member. Great. Mr. Mundy is our vice principal, and he can help you if you need anything in the facility or need to know where anything is. So part of the 100-day plan is being on this listening and learning tour, which has been very enlightening, and we've been received with such open arms at all of our schools. In the morning, Dr. Rennie and my assistant Maria Montoya have been going with me. We take donuts and have casual conversations with the teachers before they start school. So we get there an hour before school starts. Mrs. Bailey's been a trooper, joining me on most of the meetings, and then we've had our other board members come when they can, and staff members. But we've been learning a lot about what it's like to be on the ground every day in our classrooms, taking care of our grounds, feeding our students, leading the schools. And there are things that we can immediately address. Of course, if it's a safety issue, Mr. Carrasco joins a lot of times and can call maintenance to come out and fix things. And then there is long-term information that we gather that we we'll take back and share with our strategic plan implementation team. Another part of the culture of WITH has been having our superintendent leadership meetings at the school. And when we have those visits, we visit classrooms in the morning, and then we join with job-alike groups. So I might meet with some instructional people, and our director of facilities meets with the head custodian, our business CBO and office administrative assistant will go and meet with the office staff and just try to, learn more about what they're going through. Our ITS person talks to whoever's in charge of Chromebooks. So it's been good learning for us to, everybody's always excited to see the kids. So we see what our schools need, and, as I mentioned, we're able to come back and address some things right away, and other things will take some more time. So we've also have a lot of initiatives and ideas that we're launching for the first year of implementation of the strategic plan. So if you see other superintendents' 100-day plans, they're a lot about coming into an organization where they don't know anyone. So they're a little bit different, but since we spent a year designing a strategic plan, we wanted to capture what we could do in the first 100 days to launch our plan. So we also developed a council. It's called RAC at the moment, which has an equal number of labor partners, teachers, other labor union members, and administrators, so that we could equal the playing field when we're making decisions. And that seems to be going well so far. It's a new group, so it has its storming and norming moments. We also have asked for representatives from all of our parent councils to be on that. So we're hoping that we will be able to develop a future where it's very inclusive of the staff that we serve. In the central office, we exist to serve the schools, and we know they often don't believe that. So we're really trying to change that perception and develop relational trust with our community partners and with our school site personnel. So we appreciate everything that you do for our schools. There's many collaborative partners. We're very fortunate in PUSD to have so many supports, but we also realize that there are still a lot of needs. And by being with the staff on the ground, we're able to better address those needs. Other things that we've been doing is we're launching the Black Student Initiative Task Force. That will be on October 7th. There has been a QR code that's gone out. If you have an interest in being on one of the subcommittees, please sign up. We're working with Dr. Kamai Wilson, who is an expert in working with these areas, has helped LA Unified. And with that model, we're going to have one staff member and one AAPC member lead the subcommittees. I know that we also want to do the same for our Hispanic students, and Mrs. Bailey is encouraging us to speed that process up. So we're going to be looking for the right, leader. We want to make sure that it's somebody that really can take us on the next level in the right direction. So in terms of facilities, we're moving forward with our bond. We did prioritize 3 schools, and then this Thursday we'll hopefully be approving the projects at those 3 schools, but it's important for everyone to understand that that's only phase 1. So then we have a year later, after we do the groundbreaking in '25, for these projects, we'll be modernizing 3 additional schools. In between each modernization, we have summer projects, and we also have a list of deferred maintenance projects that we're continuing to work on. And HVAC is at the top of that list. So I want everyone to know that the intention is for all of our schools to get the maintenance and care that they need. And some of them are going to get a little more of a facelift than others. We do want to be able to go out for another bond or a parcel tax during the presidential election. Our needs are about $1.6 billion, and as you generously gave us $500 million, that really can't cover all of the needs. And we did want to put some of that money towards upgrading our technology for the staff and for all of our students, and have a refresh program where we can really make sure that our students always have the latest and greatest technology to thrive in the 21st century. Our enrollment seems to be doing well. It's a little bit under what we had planned, but not much, a couple hundred students under the projection. But we are really working with the enrollment committee that is also headed up by Ms. Hall Lee on strategies for engagement and really attracting students back to our school district or to our school district that are in the area. One of the areas that we like to focus on is asset management and revenue enhancement. We spend a lot of time talking about, the future and the number of students that we're going to have, but I think there are some really great opportunities here for us to enhance our assets and be able to make money and really focus on keeping our schools open as long as the students, and many children do benefit from smaller learning environments, and we've seen that. We have a great portfolio of schools. We'll offer many different programs. So we'll probably have a long-term planning process soon with community members and staff and some of our leaders to determine how to move forward on that. We just finished our summer intern program. We had over 200 11th graders participate in internships, so thank you if you hosted some of those interns over the summer. It's the partnerships that help us be able to keep that program going, and our students really appreciate the experiences. And, I just want to reaffirm that, I'm very happy to be serving you, and the 100-day plan is going well. Like some of the themes that we've heard from our staff include facilities, compensation, taking care of the grounds, and then I would say a couple curricular areas where our staff would like us to consider additional resources for them. But overall, what has stood out is that the staff at PUSD are very invested as our community. Many of the schools are generational families, right? They say, I'm a teacher here, my mother went to school here, my grandmother went to school here, my children go to school here, or they've worked at several different schools in the district, and if I ask them, what's your favorite school? They're like, oh, that's a hard one, they're all different, and I liked them all. So I think that we're, very lucky, and we have a lot of value and commitment to our district. So that's been probably, I think, the biggest theme. So we do want to give you an opportunity to look at the materials. You have a copy of our district's new mission and vision that was adopted by the board that really is calling for us to produce students that can be successful in an ever-evolving world and for the transformation of education. And then on the other side, we've condensed our values a little bit. We used to have more values, but I think, we wanted to be able to repeat them and remember them, and they really focus on cultural competency, equity, accountability, collaboration, and fiscal, responsibility. Those are all things that are important to everyone here. Hopefully this will be one of many conversations that we have, with our community. I do try to attend as many parent meetings as I'm able to because I love to hear from our parents and community, and that's probably one of the best places to know what's really going on in the school district.
All right, thank you all. Don't forget your kids at the child care room down the street. I'll go pick up mine too. Have a great evening.